So we are pleased to have you with us this morning. I am Brenda Bridges. I am the Deputy Tax Collector for the Putnam County Tax Collector's Office, and we are glad to have you with us here this morning. Welcome.
Come on up here and have a seat with us.
Plenty of seats up here. There is a sign-in list going around if you will sign that. So this morning we are highlighting our tax administration team. So this morning we have with us Rose Wilkinson. She is our tax administration manager. Lisa Fells and Janelle Varnadoe. Have to remember a name change when we get married, right? Again, we are glad to have you with us. So these ladies will be presenting the ABCs of the tax certificate sale. If you would, we are going to be filming this so we can put it on our website. So if you will save your questions to the end of the first session, and then they will be happy to take all those questions and hopefully provide all the answers that you need. Okay, with that, I'm going to turn it over. Please enjoy your session.
Okay, welcome to the ABCs of the tax certificate sale process. And we're going to go ahead and get started. In front of you, you'll find the advertisement. There is a copy of the bidding rules. There is a sheet with the PowerPoint where you can take some notes or you can have your questions written down for that. There's also a page with the frequently asked questions on it. This information is also available on the website. All right, so the property tax timeline. November 1st, typically around the end of October, the bills go out. It's going to be due from November 1st through March 31st. And there are discounts applicable to each of those months. So in November, there's a 4% discount. That discount point decreases by 1 point each month that those taxes go unpaid. So by March, the full bill amount is due. There is no discount. April 1st, taxes become delinquent. And that date, keep that date in mind because it will come up later in our discussion. In May, taxes are advertised in the newspaper and posted on the auction site. So typically the second, third, and fourth weeks of May, and that's the paper that you have there, that's going to run 3 consecutive weeks. That's advertised, and those properties are the properties that are delinquent as of April 30th. The property owners can still redeem their property if they pay it by the end of this month. So even though it's advertised, the property, when you're searching or doing your research, it may already be paid. So when you're doing it on the website, that's going to have a red asterisk by it that's showing you that it's unavailable because it typically may have already been paid. And June the 1st is actually our annual tax sale date.
So tax certificates. On or before June 1st of each year, tax certificates are issued on properties that have unpaid taxes. A tax certificate is simply an interest-bearing lien against that property. The tax certificate in no way, shape, or form conveys any type of ownership to that property. It is simply a lien. Tax certificates are awarded to bidders willing to pay those taxes, the interest, and the other charges and fees that apply when you're in that process. The tax certificate sale is actually conducted in what we call a reverse auction format. Instead of going to the highest bidder, it actually goes to the lowest interest bidder. And those percentages are anywhere from 18% at the highest down to 0% at the lowest. And it so happens that multiple people decide to bid on something at the same amount, then the computer has a generated process already that it just randomly picks a winner out of that situation.
Okay, so what happens if there are no bids placed at the certificate sale? So if you're on that site and nobody bids on that particular certificate, then that gets struck to the county, and it's what's called a county held certificate. And those are typically going to be available for you to go back in on July the 1st once the 2022 certificate sale has been finalized and balanced. Then you can go back. That site is going to reopen on July the 1st for you to go in and purchase any of those county held certificates. And those are going to be at an 18% interest rate.
So after you purchase a tax certificate, once the tax certificate is issued to the certificate holder, as long as you have bid more than a 0% interest, you are automatically gonna get a minimum of 5% interest. The only time you don't is if you bid zero. Yes, it may get you that property, but it won't get you interest. So when a property owner pays their taxes, this is what we call redeeming that certificate or redeeming their property. They have to come to our office to pay it, and once it's paid, you will get your money back as that investor for the certificate holder. When you purchase a certificate, you may not contact that property owner for a minimum of 2 years. Period. Do not do it.
Okay, so when can you make an application for tax deed? So typically, once you purchase your, so let's say if you pick a 22 certificate and you actually are awarded that certificate, 2 years past that delinquency date, which is April 1st, even though you're purchasing it on June the 1st, the delinquency date is April 1st. So April 1st, 2 years later, which would be April 1st, 2025, that certificate will be available for you to purchase or apply for a tax deed on. If you go on our website on July 1st and you pick up a county health certificate, it may already be eligible for a tax deed. So anywhere from 2016, because 15s are going to statute out the end of this month. So anything from 2016 to 2020 are going to be eligible for a tax deed application because they've already surpassed that 2-year mark.
A tax certificate only has a 7-year life. After that, it becomes null and void. This is, that, it makes it complicated when you just say, oh, well, I'll just, I'll have it and collect it. Well, if you don't apply on it or, apply for a tax deed or do anything else with it, then after that 7 years, once it hits that date, it's dead. You get nothing. You don't get a return on your money. You cannot apply for a tax deed on it, nothing. It cancels. Tax certificates are like, say, if you bought one on June 1st, that certificate expires June 2nd, 7 years later, 2030.
Does anybody have any questions right now?
Yes.
I'm not even sure I'm smart enough to ask the question. Got to think a little more.
Okay. Yes, sir.
Is there an expiration date for applying for or registering for a tax deed on the certificate?
As long as your certificate is valid.
Okay, for the 7 years?
Yes.
Mhm.
Oh, okay.
So you have up until that certificate expires to apply on it.
Okay.
You have to hold it
Just
for
keep-
2 years.
yeah,
and
just
then
keep
after
in mind,
2
you have to
years,
be
can
the-
apply.
The 2-year mark. You
It
have to
has
meet
to
that
be at least 2
2-year
years
mark.
old to apply.
Okay.
I've seen some properties out there that have, like, back to 2015. So is it every year they come delinquent on a new tax, that property goes through this process?
Yes.
So then is it safe to assume that since the first taxes were due, I think it was 2015, that property nobody has bought the tax certificate?
No, there can be certificates that are on it that other people have purchased. Each year's is a standalone certificate.
So all that certificate doing is going to force the property up for sale?
You collect your interest up until either it expires and you collect nothing, or you apply and try to recoup your money, or that property owner pays and then it cancels your certificate and you get your money.
Okay, so the actual process of the tax certificate doesn't have anything to do with that property ending up on
No,
the auction?
Not necessarily.
Those
So
are
what-
two separate processes.
Yeah.
The tax
So what-
certificate sale and then there's a tax deed sale.
Okay, so what is the action by the county that puts that sale over, or that property into
That's the certificate
auction?
holder, not the county.
Yeah, that's the certificate holder's responsibility. If you buy a certificate after your 2 years, it's eligible for you to take it to tax deed sale. You can choose to take it, or you can choose to ride it out for 7 years, see if they pay it, accrue more interest. And at the end of the 7 years, like the 2015 tax years, those will statute of limitations out on May 28th of this month. So if you're a certificate holder for 2015 and you don't take it to tax deed sale, it's null and void. You can't do anything with it. You'd have to use it as a tax write-off.
Okay.
The county doesn't force them to sell, that's the certificate holder's responsibility to take them to sell.
I guess I'm still missing how the property ends up going for auction.
Somebody has applied.
The certificate
One of those
holder will
certificate holders
apply.
has applied.
So there could be 10 people that hold certificates
Yes.
on that property, and
One of them applies.
one of them. Okay, and then that's what puts it up.
And when that person applies, everybody else that's on that property that holds a certificate will get paid out, because they have to redeem all those outstanding tax years in order to apply,
Okay.
or pay out, not redeem, the property owner redeem.
Do you hold any certificates at this point right
No.
now?
We were looking to get property in Putnam County and thought possibly this was an avenue for getting, property that's undesirable or whatever.
And we can have more of a sit-down discussion since you've never bought any before and explain more to you in detail if you need that also.
So this is more of an investment.
Correct.
It's an investment with potential to have property after 2 years. Or you can buy older certificates that the county has held and you can take them right to tax deed if you choose to do that also.
So some people do it to get the property. Not everyone does it as an
Is
investment.
would that be the case of why somebody would do zero interest?
Yes.
Because
They want the property.
They want the
But they're
property.
not gonna get the 5%, they're not gonna get any interest. So they probably most likely want the property.
Just keep in mind, just because you buy a certificate on a piece of property and you take it to tax deed sale, that does not guarantee you that
You have
property
to be
because
the
it goes
highest
for
bidder.
public auction
Right.
and you don't know how many people's gonna be on their bidding.
Is there any way to find out how many liens or how many tax certificates are on property?
When you're searching,
When you're doing your research, yes.
we'll show
That's
you
public.
too, where you can, when you're in there searching, you'll see there's this, which stands for there's outstanding other tax liens on that property. So you'll see in that search that there are other liens out there. Okay, so anybody else? Okay, so what we're gonna do is show you, this is the live site. So when you go in to do whatever you're gonna do to search, and this is what you're gonna see before you actually register. So you can go in and preview items for sale. You can go and look at some of the information we have in front of you is also available on the side, on the on the left of the screen to you. But this is where you'll start. We suggest that you do the start here, which shows you some of the information, like I said, that you have in front of you. And then you're gonna register. And for this site, we're gonna show you some quick search. If you go into the start here, they can see the same information that they have.
Let's show them how to register first and then
Okay.
take them into search.
All right, so we're gonna go to the demo site because we don't want to actually, this is live. So it became live on May the 8th for you to start bidding. So you can bid all the way up to the auction date and up until the batches close. There are different batches on each, all the certificates are in batches to make it more manageable, but there are individual certificates that are sold. But you're gonna do the start here, and you can see this page pretty much is just exactly like our live page.
This is just the demo site where you can actually go practice. One thing you do have to remember that every county is different. They all don't require the same rules. So if you're gonna bid in other counties, you need to read their rules for what their auction is.
All right, so this is the frequently asked question page, and there's also a link for the bidding rules. And all of this information is very informative, so I would definitely read all of this. And then,
Excuse me, you also have a copy of this summary of important dates on the back of your sheet. We did give you a copy of that. It is on, our information is on our website for that, but we did give you a copy to review.
all right, so we're gonna show you how to register. We're gonna go back to the home page, and we're gonna click register.
And it's always gonna pop up this when you're registering. It's reminding you that the certificate conveys no property rights.
All right, so you have the option here to, whatever applies to you. If you're a business or individual, whatever applies to you, you're gonna use that. But for today's purposes, we're gonna use a social security number. And we have some fake information we're gonna use just for today. And you're gonna put the name as you want it to show on your tax return. So this information is very important because this is also gonna show up on your W-9, which is your interest statement. So you wanna make sure that everything that you want on your tax return is what you register under. And you can put up to 4 additional phone numbers if you'd like. And once you're registered in our site, if there are other counties under that global registration process, then you'll also be registered under there. You don't have to register under different websites, under different counties. And as you see this little notation down here, make sure that you get that registration successful email, because it may have gone to your spam folder. All right, and then your mailing address. And this is where your W-9s will be sent. And then you create your username and password. Confirm your password, ask your security question, your answer, and notify you if you want to be notified of any other sale options. And I would put, once you do this, I will put your username, your password, and you're going to get a bidder number once you're finished. Log those down somewhere because they're going to be important anytime you go back to the website. When you get ready to log on to the Real TDA website to apply, you're going to need that bidder number. So those numbers and this information is very important.
As you can see, we've been playing with this thing.
All right, so once you get past all of that, you're going to decide what your federal tax classification is going to be and answer all those other questions.
And usually you're gonna be an individual or a sole proprietor, as long as you're not part of like a company, like an LLC or something, then you would pick something different. But if you're just doing it for yourself, then you would normally just pick individual / sole provider, or proprietor, excuse me.
And once you do that, then you're going to need to preview everything on here, make sure everything is what you want it to be. And the edit button, you can edit anything or change anything that you need to. Once you verify that everything is correct and you confirm it, you're going to get your bidder number. So log that bidder number down so that you'll have it for future reference. And then click Get Started. So you'll need to agree to the different agreements that are going to be on here.
There's a few. we're back to the basically the welcome page that's, telling you no non-US bidder accounts are prohibited, all of that information. And you're gonna click on go to summary.
All right, so here, as you can see, the X's shows you're not a qualified bidder yet. So if you click on the submit a deposit, it's going to let you see what you need to start doing to get registered and qualified to bid. So we're going to do pay by ACH.
Because that's the only option that you'll have in our county. We don't do the wires or the checks for the certificate sale. Everything has to be ACH.
And we also don't require a deposit. We do require a budget. So you set your budget for what you want to use during the process. I'm going to click next. So here you're going to put in your account number for your banking information, and that information it's imperative that that information is correct, because if it's not, and they go to pull if you want a certificate and they go to pull it and it's not correct account, then you're not going to get that certificate. And also, when it comes to redeeming, if you don't have the right information, then that redemption amount or money is going to bounce back to us.
And the other problem is if it's not the correct information after the 24th, it won't allow you to go back in and change it. So you want to make sure you're properly registered, or you won't be able to bid in the sale, because they check those accounts before the sale to make sure you're putting in the right information. That's one of the benchmarks that you have to meet. But the system will tell you if it's verified or not also.
Okay, we're going to click next. And we're going to authorize. And you can either print this or you can cancel print or close out that screen. And then you're going to click finish. And that's just the deposit part. And then you got to go back in and do the redemption part. So if you have the same banking information, you can use that same information for the redemption part.
And this is because some people may want us to pull from their checking account, but they may want us to put the savings account. So it depends on where you want the money to go.
Click next.
Again, it's gonna make you verify that everything looks right.
So your update is clear. So when we complete, when you go back to the home page, which is also your summary page, you're going to now see check marks. So that means you are now qualified to bid. So what we're going to do now is we're going to show you how to place bids. Now, when we get done with this, we're going to go back to the live site and show you how to do the searches. And that's because when you try to do searches in the demo site, it may not be the same as the live site. So go to the place bids. And here you'll see batches. If you click on the batch number, we're going to start with 1. This is going to pull up the area where you can place your bids. So if you click on the advertisement number, it's going to pull up a little screen that shows you the parcel details, a map, the certificate history, and the bid distribution. And that information is also very important if you're researching and trying to figure out what you want to buy.
That's the part you pay attention. Pay attention to that.
And the bid distribution is not going to populate until the batch actually closes. All right, so we're going to come out of that. The tax year just shows you what certificate year it is. And these codes, this one is homestead, so that means that's that person's homestead property. That's their residence. The O, like I said before, is the outstanding lien. So that's where you'll see that there's outstanding liens. So there are other unpaid tax years on that particular property other than the one you're bidding on. And if you click on the parcel ID, that's going to take you to the property appraiser's website where you can also do some research. That's the face amount. And then here where you enter your bid, we're going to enter a 0.25 and we're going to say bid. And that bid is successfully updated. Now, if we want to cancel that bid, we click cancel, but it's not going to give you an option where it says, do you want to do this? Once you click cancel, it's canceled, okay? All right, so if you want to bid the 0.25%, and you want that particular property, you've done all your research and you want that particular property, then you've placed your bid. Now, if you want to fill the entire page, just to see what you can get, you can fill the entire page with a bid. So we're gonna do the 0.25 again and click go, and that's gonna fill up that whole page with that 0.25 bid.
See, now
And then
all
at
of
the
those
bottom-
are all now clicked and marked.
You're gonna click submit. And now you have bid 0.25%, and you see that transfers over here and shows you what your bid percentage is and what your face amount is. And so this is gonna be your total investment over here. If you wanna go back to the batches, you just click the go to batches. All right, and then go back to the home page. That's always gonna be your summary page that shows you everything, your bidding, your transactions, your deposits, your winnings, all of that is gonna be on your summary home page. So we're gonna go back to place my bid. And the results page will populate also after the batches close. If you click in the batch number. So here, if you go to clear and refresh, it's gonna take you to the quick search as well. And you can do some quick searches on here. We can show you a little bit here, but we're gonna mainly do the quick search in the live site. So for the quick search, for this one, we're just going to do the assessed value. And we're gonna say 2,000 to 5,000. And we're gonna click search. And that's gonna populate any properties that have a assessed value anywhere from $2,000 to $5,000. So then you can play around with what you wanna research in that area, because you tailored your search to assessed value. Anytime you wanna go back to the quick search, just click clear and refresh. All right, so we're gonna come out and go to, is there any questions on the demo site?
So when it has the O, you said there's an existing lien.
There's other than the 2022, there's another year out there, could be several years out there that are outstanding.
But there also could be some that don't have a certificate sold against them, right? So there could be.
Where they won't have an O there.
Yeah, correct, gotcha, okay.
So in the live site, there may be other codes, because you'll have a homestead code, you'll have the O for the outstanding. There's properties that are in bankruptcy.
There's also a little map icon that will take you to
The
the
map
maps.
icon will take you to the maps as well, which is gonna be Google Maps.
Yes, sir.
This
Is the bidding that
certificate
you-
of right not to
that you
say
put
that.
up, is it a silent bid in the sense that you don't know what other people are
You
bidding?
will not know what anybody else is
Okay.
bidding.
All right,
So it's blind bidding?
pretty much.
Okay.
Yes, sir.
If a property goes into bankruptcy, does it stop your interest accumulating for that time period it's in bankruptcy?
No,
No, it still accrues interest.
Okay. And one more,
Oh, I'm sorry.
I've never understood the batches. How do y'all determine the batches? Are they physical areas or how?
no, the company that Real Auction provides, does all that for us.
It's over 20,000
It
certificates.
just
in
basically
this.
takes a certain number of certificates and puts them in each one.
It just
to
makes it more
equal it out.
manageable.
It's not done by the parcel numbers?
It is
No.
done by the parcel
Oh,
number
yes.
from 01 all the way to 49, and they just
It's in
divide
parcel
them up
number
into
order.
a certain number of batches and put a certain number.
Yes,
in
if
each
we have
batch.
like 50,000 going, you would put a certain number and to break it down and make it so each, it's got different time frames, you know? Give everybody enough time for it to go through and then close down, okay, move to the next set.
Yes, ma'am.
So the calculation that you did, you put 0.25 and you did the whole page.
Mhm.
Does that go on until you run out of your potential bid amount that you were
Yes.
up to?
Once you've exceeded or met your budget, it's
Right.
gonna ignore any other bids.
That's what I thought.
All right, so we're gonna go to the live site. And here we have to be careful because we are actually in the site where you can place a bid. Click go to summary. And here, we are not required to qualify because we work for the tax collector's office.
We don't get to play in this,
But
that's why
when
we
you
play
see
with the
this,
demo.
it's gonna say, you're qualified to bid. So you'll see the little check marks that show you're qualified to bid. So we're going to, if you go to set budget, you can set your budget here, and then you're gonna tell it what you want it to be. $100,000, we're gonna be generous. Well, we can leave it at 10 million. So we really have a lot of money to play with. All right.
But we still have to be careful, because it'll do things.
All right, so we're going to go to the quick search. And this is just to show you how you can tailor the search to your particular criteria. So in here, we're going to play around with some search options. We're going to do, if you have the batch number, you can put that batch number in, the advertisement number, which is on your advertisement. If you see that, if you're looking through that advertisement paper and you see a particular property you're looking for, you can go to the advertisement number on that paper and just put that in there, or on the place bids area, if you're already in there and you know you have several and you don't want to have to go back and forth. There's a jump to option. We'll show you that in a minute. But we're putting this advertisement number in and we're going to click search. And that's just going to be that specific property. You're only going to see that one because that's the advertisement number you put in. If you want to bid on that, you're going to enter your bid and click bid. Don't.
Yeah, I'm not.
All right, so face amount, all of those things, like when you're on the place bid section, you'll see all of those options that you can use. So we're going to go down to beds and baths. And we're going to put in 2-bedroom, 1 bath.
You can't do that on this one.
Okay, yes, that's right. We're going to do the owner's name. And we have Verona V LLC. And that's going to show you everything under that name. So you can research under this name. And if you want to go back to the quick search, we're going to go clear and refresh. And then we're going to go to the account number or parcel number.
And you're gonna put it in without dashes if you're searching by parcel number, because it won't register those dashes in there. They don't use them.
All right, and we're going to click search. And that's going to be also a parcel number, account number is specific to that one property. Yes, sir.
Can you search by, say like I wanted to just search
We're going to show you that in just a second.
certain area?
Yes, sir. All right, so clear and refresh. We're going to go back. And we're going to go down to the property address. And we're going to put well, we're going to go to property city. And we're going to put Hawthorne. And we're going to click search. And that's going to show you everything in the Hawthorne area.
And
So
that's
any
that map
city
icon.
that you're interested in, you can just type in that city name and see if there's anything available in that city.
Again,
And that's the
that
map. If you
icon.
click that, it takes you to Google Maps. All right, we're going to go back to clear and refresh. And then at the bottom down here, there are additional filters that you can use. So you can include and exclude different criteria. If you want everything on there, you can leave it at all. But if you want anything, any of those listings specifically, like you want multifamilies or vacant properties or single families, you're going to click that drop down and you're going to include or exclude any of those criteria. And if you include them, you're going to add them to this side over here and then click search. And it's going to show you everything in that search criteria. So the next,
Can you do wild cards and property ID? I don't even know if there's any reason to do that.
That's something we'll ask and try to find out for you. Because this is not actually our
No.
site, we don't man this site, this is the real auction site. And we're not really,
It doesn't
like,
allow
we
you to
can't
put anything but
bid
numbers
or,
on.
you know.
Well, if you put in like the first four valid of.
Yeah, it won't take like
I
the,
believe you have to put in the whole parcel
You have to
number.
put in the whole parcel
if you
number.
wanted like the first part, you would put it in the section, township, and range part, things like that.
All right, so we're gonna show you, so does everybody understand how you can include and exclude criteria? So we're gonna show you how to save your searches. So if you go up to the save and search, we're going to do the parcel ID again. So you'll type in the parcel ID and then you'll click save search criteria.
You're gonna type in the name first.
And now you have your,
Now it'll be saved.
well, I'll look for parcel
If you
ID.
go that way, and you go back, it's still here. If you go and do other searches, once you've saved it, it's still gonna be right here, and all you have to do is click on it
click
and hit search again. And it'll bring back that particular search back up for you.
So if you're searching for a particular area like East Palaca and you put in the zip code for East Palaca, you can create a search for that. That way you can always go back to that search and update your bids or add more to your bids just for that area without having to keep searching for it each time. Those searches will be saved for you.
Does it save the last thing you searched and then you search it and you can name it whatever? Or do you have to put in a specific, okay,
Yep, whatever you want to name it so that you know what you're searching or what you have searched.
okay,
If you just type in whatever name and hit save.
okay, awesome.
And then whenever you go out of it and come back into it, say you're going to look at something else and you come back, it's gonna be right here under your save, your recent searches and your saved searches.
If you saved it.
If you saved it.
Yes.
If not, it's not gonna stay.
And if you decide you don't want them, of course, you can delete them out and resave something different if you want it.
All right, so if you go back to the home page or either click clear and refresh, we're gonna go to the place bids section. I'm just gonna show you some stuff in that area. We're not gonna place any bids. Go into the batch number. And let's see if there's anything else we missed.
And let's just clarify what the O means. Go in, will it let you go into the 00, the 2 number over here?
The back, the
Advertising
advertising.
number. Go to where it says certificate history. So it's gonna show you that there is an active certificate for 2020 and 2021 on that piece of property also. If they're delinquent, they have a certificate on them. Every piece of property that goes to sale either gets purchased or gets struck to the county, so they have certificates. So if there's prior year due, they're gonna have a certificate on them. Does that make sense?
So when once a certificate, I guess I don't understand how you say the county will come in and they pick up the certificate, is that the correct?
Well, if no one bids on it, so when the 2022 auction happens on June the 1st and nobody bids on a particular certificate, it automatically gets struck to the county. So those are available all year. Our annual sale is available for just that year's tax certificate, delinquent tax property, taxes. But anytime you're looking for something outside of that particular year, you can go back to the same website, PutnamTaxSale.com, and any of those other years plus that 2022 year that no one picked up is gonna be there as a county health certificate. So nobody bids on it. Let's say 10,000 properties out of the 20,000, nobody bids on them. They automatically get struck to the county at 18%.
Okay, what does that actually mean, when you say it gets struck to the county?
It's a county health certificate. So nobody bid on it, so it's available for anybody outside of this certificate auction. Once it finalizes and closes and balances, anybody can go back in and pick that up.
Oh, okay, and it's gonna be at the, one point,
It's
It's gonna be at the
Automatically
18% interest rate.
because that's automatically.
Mhm.
That's a good deal, right?
That's what Florida law tells us has to happen. Not something we choose, it's what the law tells us has to happen in those scenarios if there's no certificate sold.
And that 18% would go to the people who held those former tax certificates.
No.
No.
Well, if you purchase it, then it would go to you as the purchaser.
Uh-huh,
You would have to buy it at what it is at that time,
uh-huh.
and then you would start accruing interest from the time you purchased it on your purchase amount going forward at 18%, or
So-
1.5% a month.
The one that you exampled, it had 2 tax certificates on it for 2 different years.
Mhm.
And
That
so-
doesn't mean those are county held. Some other certificate holders could be holding those, because neither one of those are eligible right now. Well, I guess the 2020, go back into that one.
Well, that's what I was wondering, if one of those were available to
That's
get
the other
it,
one.
and you
second
had just
one.
bought
That
the
one's got a bunch
certificate.
too. So
They're
any
not
of those certificate holders, if they're not the county, and you can research that on our website.
Uh-huh,
You can go into those delinquent years and click on it, and it'll tell you who the certificate holders are.
right. And any one of those can have a place for sale. And if you're watching closely, are you advised that this particular piece of property is going for
It's
sale?
your responsibility to keep up with it, which you'll know if you're a certificate holder and one of the other certificate
You'll be
holders
there.
rolls it up in a tax deed,
Mhm,
you're gonna get your money because they're gonna have to pay you out.
right.
So you're gonna get redemption money, and that happens every 2 weeks, so
Uh-huh.
you would know within 2 weeks, okay, well, somebody's gonna take this one to sell, or either the property owner redeemed it.
Right.
So at that time, you would just, you
So
can go
you
to our
may, I may
website
not,
and
if
check.
if I had just bought it, I may not have to wait for 2 whole years before something happens.
If you buy one that the county's already held for 2 years, then you can turn around and take it right to tax deed sale if you want to.
And each certificate year is a standalone, so you as a particular certificate holder can own 4 or 5 of those years, but they're each standalone years. All right, so we're gonna go back to the clear, let's go back to the homepage, see if anything we can show you that. And if anything outside of this, training that we're trying to show you, and you have questions or issues with the site, if you go to the contact us, this is the Real Auction customer service information, and you can reach out to them with any issues or questions that you have after this training. As far as the website is concerned, we'll try to help you with whatever we can, but it is their website.
And then our information's also under the same contact, you can contact us.
All right, so if you need to change any of your information, let's say you put in all your banking information, all your personal information, and something changes, and you've already come out, you've already registered, you can go into the Edit My Account, and you can go in and change anything you need to change. Now, your banking information is gonna have a separate link, so this is just for all your personal information, your W-9 information and stuff. So if you go back, and you click the edit button and change anything you need to
See,
change.
like in my case, I got married, so I had to go in, they still had my name as Reyes, and I got married, so my name is now Varnado. I had to go in and edit all of that to be able to have it updated.
So if something happens and you have a new mailing address,
You
you
go
wanna
in,
go in here and update it, because what happens is when you go in here and update it in Real Auction, it pushes it to us, so if we have redemption money for you and we're sending you a check, you're getting the check in the mail. If you don't update your information, you're not gonna get any information from us. So anytime anything changes, you definitely need to update it in the system.
All right, if you go to the provide redemption bank information, you
He
can
has a
change
question
your,
for you.
oh, I'm sorry.
So this website right here is
Mhm.
provided by some commercial entity out there
Real Auction.
nationwide? So what happens
They-
if I go in and I put in, yep, I want a budget of 100,000, and I connect my bank account, and then the next day I wake up and I find out that I just bought $1 million worth of.
It's not gonna go over your budget.
it won't go over your budget, and it's
Okay.
not gonna do anything that you haven't
But
bid
but
on.
I'm saying, somebody hacks that website and liquidates my account, am I liable for that if I didn't
That will be
do
a
anything?
question for their customer service.
Yeah, that would be,
I've been here for 28 years and we've never
Never
had a
had that
problem, so.
happen.
Their sign is very secure. This is just one of our vendors that we've used for many, many years, and everything has been secure.
So if you go back, are you in there now? Okay, so click next. and you're going to, update your banking information here. So that's what you'll need to do, because you will need to make sure that that banking information is correct for, deposits and redemptions. All right, and
Does anybody have any more questions about how to register or how to bid? Okay, well, I do want to show you one more thing. Go to the county held benchmark. On this same site is where we will house all the county held certificates that the county has. Go up to the top where it says auction,
bookmark.
benchmark. No, benchmark.
Drop down.
Go to Putnam County 2022. So this is where you go to where it says buy certificates. This is where you'll go and actually see what certificates the county has after the sale. So this site will open back up on July 1st. And it'll include all county certificates for all year that the county has. So if anybody wants to buy any of those, that's where they're housed. You'll go here and buy them, and you pay on this website. Send us an email that you purchased them, we transfer them to you, then you can log into Real TDA and do whatever you want to with them.
Takes about 2 weeks for the county helds to transfer into your name from start to finish, just an FYI.
And that's quite a few, as you can see. We have 66,350 certificates the county houses right now. And that doesn't include the 22 year.
So like, for instance, if we were interested, just say in one that was in 2019, it's not gonna be available, you can't do that right now, you have to wait till July 1st?
Correct.
Okay.
Because right now they're solely focusing on the
I mean,
22
you can
certificates.
right now, because the site's down, if you're only wanting to do one or two, you can walk in and we will do that across the counter. But if you're purchasing multiple, you need to wait and do it online. But
Gotcha.
if you're just needing one or two, we can actually do those for you across the counter.
Gotcha.
Question?
Yes.
If I go in and I bid .25, and nobody else bids, does the rate go up or it's just .25?
If you bid at .25, the system is gonna look and see who else bid. So the next highest bid, let's say it's 5%. You bid 0.25%, you're gonna win that certificate, but it's gonna be at 0.25% lower than the next highest bid. So you're gonna get it at 4.75%.
Yes, sir.
You've held your certificate for the 2 years and you want to call for a tax deed sale. Is there any application fees or costs involved in that
Yes, that's a
process?
totally separate process.
There's a $300 application fee.
And that's the total cost?
Well,
Well, that's the total
That's
cost for the application.
Ma'am?
That's the total cost for the application. So
Right.
any outstanding certificates that are out there, you're gonna need to pay all those out.
Right.
Because you're the only one gonna need to be on that tax deed for, when you get ready to,
So
if
what
you
you
win
would
it at
do
auction.
is if there's 5 certificates on that piece of property and you hold one and you roll it up, you're gonna pay all 4 certificates plus the $300 fee to start. That's gonna send it to the titling company to get a title search. You're gonna do that on realtda.com. After it comes back from the titling company and we certify it to the clerk of the courts, they're also gonna send you a bill for what it costs them to take it to sale. And that ranges anywhere from $200 to $600. They'll bill you for it and then they'll set the sale.
Okay. Can I ask a clarification? The administrative cost for calling for a tax deed sale is $300. At that time, everything's in order for you to do that. You also have to pay the outstanding certificates that are on the
That you are not a
property.
certificate holder on.
If what?
If you're not the certificate holder on them, yes.
Because you've already paid your certificate, so anything
Right.
else other than yours, you're
You
gonna
have,
pay.
okay, you have to pay other certificate holders on, pay that as an additional to the 300.
Correct.
And then what additional costs? Something?
It'll be the clerk of the court fees.
Okay, and that's 200 to 600 approximately?
And they can't calculate that until the title search comes back because it's based off of how many notices they have to send out, you have to pay for the advertisement that they do. If they have to send a sheriff out, you have to pay for that. So they'll bill you for that in advance before the sale.
Okay, so when the sale becomes available to bid, is it a bidding, is it an auction?
It's an online auction, yes.
And it's high bidder takes this?
And the opening bid will be what it cost you as that certificate holder that's taking it to sell to take it to sell. So the opening bid will be what it cost you. If you are not awarded the property, you're gonna get your money back that it cost you, plus interest for the number of months it took to take it to sell.
On that, oh, go ahead.
Go ahead.
On that tax deed auction or sale,
When they auction them off, it's online.
is it again blind
So
bidding?
if you
Where you don't know if anybody else is
It's live
bidding?
bidding.
Okay, so,
But now the tax deed sale's a different side of it, so if you have a lot of questions about that, let's do that at the end and
okay,
get all them answered for you,
okay, thank you.
what you got.
And the approximate time from when I go and pay the fees to start towards tax deed sale is at least 6 months.
It's what?
At least 6 months, approximate. I know it can be.
Right now, we're getting stuff back that's being scheduled for
August.
September, August, and- well, they just closed August, so
Okay.
September, so right now, they're only running 3 months, right?
Mhm.
Now, when they have a whole lot over there, yes, it can be 6 months.
Or more.
Yes, it can take literally anywhere from 3 to 9 months,
And right now, we have,
depending on how many tax deed applications there
they
are.
have what, about 300?
A little over 300.
300 at the tax deed office, and we have about 400 at the titling company, so there's a lot of tax deeds out there right now.
So the thing that you've got up there now, where they're county held,
Yes.
is this a different process? You said that, I mean,
Yes.
is this something that you can,
This you don't bid on. This
Right.
what you see is what you're paying.
okay, so it doesn't have to go through all of
Well,
that?
you still have to bid at the auction and be the highest bidder.
No, that's for tax deed.
This
She's talking
part of
about
it is
this.
Oh,
normally
yeah.
open year-round, except for we have to close it when we're doing the certificate sale. So as soon as that certificate sale closes and everything's in balance, on July 1st, it'll open back up and it won't close again until the following year when it's time for the next certificate sale.
So if you're looking to get just actual property, for property's sake,
This
this
is
is
where
the
you
best
wanna go.
place?
Yes.
Okay.
And what's so good about it, it's housed in the same place, you're using the same bidder number, you're not having to re-register again, everything's housed in the same place.
And you get that 18%.
Anybody else have any other questions? Yes.
I guess you're talking about the auction thing, now it's okay to ask a question about the auction thing? When you've got a piece of property that's actually going to auction, used to they did it in the courthouse, now it's all online, but does the piece of property, once it gets to the actual sale, if there's liens and stuff on the property, is that the bidder's responsibility to find out about that, or will the county have would you have to do a title search on
Well, they
it?
do a title search as part of the process.
Say it one more time?
They do a title search as part of the process, but as far as, anything out there that the title search doesn't pick up, or it's your due diligence to search, because some things, like a mobile home, it may not be included with the property, so you have to research that kind of stuff.
But if there was a lien attached to the property, it would show,
It should be
Typically, it
found
should
in
show on the
that
title
title search.
search.
okay.
And the title search will be attached. That's something you need to get with the clerk of the courts on. They house all of that.
Okay.
And they'll give you I think the first 2
Yeah, every
pages.
piece of property that goes to tax deed sale has to have a property information report. And that's the first thing we do. That application fee that you have to pay that's $300, that's what's being done on it. And it is available. I think you can see it on their website, but you would need to get with the clerk of the courts on that. If not, they will have it in their house so that you can come see it there. But I believe it should be allowed online also.
Yes, it is.
Thank you.
Any more questions? You got one for us? Okay.
I probably need to shut up.
What encumbrances survive the tax deed sale? In other words, if I get the tax deed, what encumbrances or liens, as you might call them, survive the
There is
sale.
certain liens, government liens, code enforcement liens. There could be a few others, so you would definitely need to check with the tax deed office on that.
What about mortgages on the property?
That's part of the title search. If there's a mortgage on the company, they're notified that it's going to tax deed sale, so it's up to them to take care of that. If there's something after it goes to tax deed sale, that mortgage company would have to take it up with the individual they had the mortgage against. It wouldn't stay with the property on a regular mortgage.
Okay, so the mortgage holder would get a notice that it's coming up for a tax deed sale?
That's part of that notification that you gotta pay for through
Because
the
they may
clerk
be
of courts.
interested in
Mhm.
making sure they're loan discovered.
Correct.
Okay, thank you.
And a lot of them do get redeemed that way once the mortgage companies are notified.
Mhm.
Any more questions? Well, I'll share a little bit of statistic information. So for our sale right now, let's see if we can see it. Go to, scroll down. Well, you need to go back and change the benchmark first though. And go down to admin and go live stats. So right now, this is our active sale. It's telling us we've got qualified bidders, 2,874,000. Bidders, roll down a little bit. This is how many were taken to sale. 19,139 parcels, and right now we've got bids on 5,256 of them at $5,320,000.
And that, active number can change because they have until the end of the month.
So this will change every day up until the sale goes live on June 1st.
That's just
But
Putnam
this
County.
is a
Yeah,
good
this is
active
strictly our
sale, and the number that's being bid on, because the other 13,000 parcels are gonna end up getting struck through the county, which will allow you to be able to go buy them online on July 1st. So this is a good live sale going right now, so y'all get involved in it.
But once you're registered, you can already go ahead and start putting your bids in.
Now, I don't know if it'll show y'all that page, probably not until after it closes. But we do have a good sale going, so y'all jump in and get active with it. And if you need any help, come see us.
It starts on July 1st. And
You
it
can place your bids now. The sale closes on July 1st.
closes.
And it'll start with each batch. You can see we have 7 batches, and it shows you the number of items that's in it. And if you look at the newspaper advertisement, the batches should follow in numerical order.
And you said it takes 2 or 3 weeks to close, or?
The
complete?
sale is on the 1st. It's open now for bids,
Right.
and it closes on the 1st. So if you go in and place a bid today, you don't have to worry about it until the 1st, and then they'll notify you if you want or not.
A reminder about the last date to participate, to qualify on the,
So May 24th by 4 PM, you would need to be fully registered.
That's
And have
next
met all your benchmarks. All your benchmarks fully registered by May 24th, 4 PM.
And this newspaper's gonna detail all of that out for you, the front page.
And keep in mind, whenever, if you are awarded a certificate, whatever banking information you use, they're gonna draw that money within a few days of that, so make sure that that information is correct.
And make sure the money is available at that time.
Yes, sir.
That bid, you can change it, like you bid something and you see it's higher the next day, you just keep.
You can
watching
change
it.
your bid, update your bid, cancel your bid, all the way up until that batch closes. So if batch 1 closes, 1 hour later, batch 2 closes. So up until that batch closes, you can do whatever you need to do to your bid. You can change it, update it, cancel
And
it.
that's daily.
Yes,
Up until the batch
you
closes.
can change it 15 times a day if you want to, up until it closes.
See on, batch number 1, well, no, it's not gonna start.
It starts at 9 o'clock and every hour.
A batch will
A
close.
batch will close.
And that'll be on June 1st, so you just go in and make sure all your bids are in before the 1st, and you won't have any problems.
So really after June the 1st, the county park site won't be live again until July 1st, right?
Correct.
Okay.
Because they have to finalize the sale and get everybody's money sorted and who won what and
Get everything
Get everything
transferred
taken
into
care
the
of.
new certificate holders, and then we have to send a new file for them to upload to the site. Now, the site may be open a week before, so that you can go in and see what's out there. But it's gonna open on July 1st at 10 a.m. so that everybody has a chance to get at one time. We won't open it early so that nobody doesn't know, okay, well, it wasn't supposed to open, so I didn't go in and look. Somebody had the upper hand on me, we don't do that.
That's just first come, first
Now,
served.
it may be available for y'all to go in and review early, but it won't be available for you to purchase early.
Yes, sir.
So if you're watching a piece of property and they're bidding on it, but you wanna just wait till the last minute to make your bid.
Well, you're not gonna know if they're bidding on it. You
Yeah.
can't see anybody that's bidding in this sale. The only one that you can see that somebody's live bidding, and that's in the tax deed sale. This is the certificate sale, that's totally
So you don't
different.
know what's been bid, you're just out in the blue.
Correct.
That's scary.
That's why you gotta do your research and make sure what you're bidding on is worth having.
And bid the lowest interest that you're willing to accept.
Ma'am?
Bid the lowest interest that you're willing to accept, because that's what it's going to, go by, is the lowest interest bidder.
But now, the tax deed sale, you can see live what's going on, and it'll
So
tell
when
you if
you're
you got
buying
the
the final
highest bid.
thing at the courthouse,
That's a
you
different thing.
you can see that bid.
Yes.
Yeah,
It's just the
the
interest, the
certificate.
tax certificate.
Yeah.
Correct.
I'll catch on, man.
Also, you can set batch limits, it's optional. If you wanna set a batch limit and not, take up all your budget in batch one, you wanna spread it out through all 7 batches, you can set a batch limit. Anybody else have any questions? Yes, sir.
Thank you very much.
You're welcome.
Thank you.
Thank you for coming.
And if you have more detailed questions, you can always get with our department, we'll be glad to help you.
Thank you very much.
You're
Well, that is
welcome.
all we have.
Thank you for coming.